When I first started my One Piece journey about 2 years ago, I saw that the anime was on Egghead Island, and I saw the picture of like Zoro in that weird ass outfit, and I was just really confused to how they got there. Like, why do they look so dumb? But after finishing the Egghead manga, I don't know if it fully lived up to the hype, but it definitely was something. So since everyone on YouTube loves negativity and it gets more views, I'm going to be starting off with the things that I did not like about the Egghead Island arc. First of all, right off the bat, this is like the most common complaint of the arc. I think the Straw Hats didn't do shit in this arc. I don't even remember Sanji doing anything. I remember Zoro, this was such a weird arc for the Straw Hats, because not only did the rest of the crew doesn't really give it involvement, but even Zoro and Sanji didn't really get to do anything this whole arc. Like, sure, everyone got a panel or two of fighting, but I'm saying like actual relevance and importance to the plot. I don't even remember one thing Brook did. Like, maybe a clash at the end with the elders. Other than that, what the fuck did Brook do? Why is Brook on the crew? Usopp, I don't even remember what Usopp's outfit was. And I just read the manga yesterday. Like, I can't even, maybe I'm gonna get flamed if he did do something important, but I don't even, Nami, I remember there was a scene with Nami's shitty ass group. Like, her group was running, and all I remember of Nami is that they jump on the ship at the end when they're escaping. But really, the only people that did anything this arc was Luffy. I'm trying to think. Luffy and Zoro, and Sanji a little bit. But as always, Robin literally didn't do anything. She had a nice little character moment with Saul. You know, her finding out Saul was alive, that was really sweet. But like, Robin literally didn't do anything. She had one panel of her crying, and that's it. You know, me personally, I love the Straw Hat dynamic. I love when they banter with each other, like teamwork, the different like group compositions, like who's going to be teamed up with who this arc. You know, I love just anything with the Straw Hats, you know, besides Brook and Usopp, but I love anything Straw Hat, and this is the arc where they literally didn't do anything. Like, and Luffy probably could have went there by himself and would have been perfectly fine. And I get it, this is Kuma, kind of like Bonnie's. This was a really world building arc, because this is the arc where we got to see most of what's happening in the world. Because usually in One Piece, the end of arcs is when you see the stuff that's going on around the world. But Egghead, it was beginning, middle, and end. It would be a couple chapters of flashbacks of, you know, who's up to what, like Garp and Kuzan fighting, all the Blackbeard stuff. You get the gist. You know, you get the gist of this arc was a lot of world building. So the Straw Hats really didn't do shit this arc. The next thing I didn't like, you know, so first was Straw Hats. Anything Straw Hat, they didn't do shit this arc. The next thing I didn't like was Vegapunk's mid-ass speech. You don't know how hyped I was when I saw Vegapunk had a automatic speech that goes off after he dies. I was like, holy shit, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out some crazy ass shit. We're gonna find out some, you know, just awesome stuff. You know, we're gonna find out some just insane stuff. We've been waiting. Vegapunk is the guy to do it. He knows everything. And then they set a 10-minute timer. Why? Why would you set a 10-minute timer? What does that do? Nothing. Like, you think people are really gonna need to take 10 minutes? No, give them 2 minutes. Like, what the only point of the 10-minute timer was to create fake tension. And I made a video. My most recent video was about how One Piece lacks tension. Go check that out. But the only reason that shitty ass timer happened is to add fake tension, to where you're like, oh, they have to protect they have to protect the connection of the speech. They can't let the speech go out. And then this kind of ties in to the other thing I mainly didn't like. This is my main problem with the arc. This is what makes the arc, like, it's good, but it could have been perfect if they didn't have this. The 5 elders. This arc just completely ruined. This arc just fucked the 5 elders. Like, I was always hyped for the 5 elders. You know, they're the big bad guys. Even if Emu is above them, they're still the second in command of the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are in charge of the admirals. They could bitch around the admirals. Like, so they're supposed to be a serious threat. But somehow all 5 of the elders pull up to Egghead, and none of the Straw Hats get captured, get killed, nothing. In fact, not just the elders. There's an entire Buster Call and Kizaru, one of the admirals. You're telling me the Straw Hats were able to survive the second in command, all 5 of them, and the admiral, when fucking half of them don't even know hockey. Chopper, Robin, Nami. Brooke know hockey? Frankie knows? No, like half of the fucking Yonko crew doesn't even know hockey, and they survived the 5 elders? That's so stupid. And you just ruined your like main villain, I guess. No, not the main villain, but one of the main villains. You just anytime there's anything to do with 5 elders, I'm just gonna roll my eyes, bro. I'm like, bro, you literally guard point Chopper was able to deflect your shitty ass hit. I think it would have been perfect if it was just Saint Jay Garcia. If it was just Jay Garcia, that would have been perfect because he's the villain. He was Kuma's villain, basically. This is a Kuma's arc, you know, all that. And that's perfect. That's one elder. If you can't complain if it's one elder because it's a Yonko crew, so they should be able to hold their own with the elder and escape and stuff. But all 5, and they're transformed, like they were in their demon form or whatever the fuck, and they're just like this is a huge problem I have with One Piece. On you never feel scared. Like this, the second I saw the 5 elders weren't doing shit, I was like, yeah, bro, like these guys might as well not even be on the island. There would be no difference. There's no difference. And one of the comments of my most recent video, it said something, I'll put it up on the screen right here. It said something along the lines of, you know, I think it was like, I like Egghead or I loved One Piece, but when I saw that the 5 elders showed up and didn't do shit, that's when I fell out of love. And even though I still love One Piece, I have the Straw Hat flag on my wall outside of you. I have fucking Luffy, Year 5, and a little plush right there. Even though I still love One Piece, I could see how that the 5 elders being that shitty would ruin it for you. Like, because that's the villain that they are working towards the whole time. These guys have the second most power in the world. And to most people in One Piece, they're at the top because most people don't know about Emu. So these guys are supposed to be the top of the world, second in command of the whole world. And all 5 of them couldn't even handle fucking a Straw Hat crew. They couldn't even get what they wanted. They couldn't stop them. That ties into Vegapunk's speech, because somehow the 5 elders weren't able to stop Vegapunk's shitty ass 10 minutes. He gave you 10 free minutes to stop it, and you still couldn't. 10 whole free minutes. And why would Vegapunk? I thought it was gonna be a twist where Vegapunk was like, "There's no way to stop this broadcast." Dude, why would you have a 10-minute timer if it's possible to stop your broadcast just by hitting the robot? Why would you do a 10-minute timer when you know that there's a way to cut off your broadcast? You know there's a chance that your dying message can get cut off, and you still add the 10-minute timer. Like, what are we doing? This guy is the smartest guy in the world. And by the way, he didn't even really do anything that smart. Like, the whole arc, he just seemed like he could just be a Caesar the Clown, just a good scientist. This guy did not seem like he was the smartest guy in the world. Because I don't think the smartest guy in the world is going to set up a 10-minute fucking timer to give the Gorosei a chance to hit the robot and cancel out his message, the will of the D or whatever. Also, what was the point of even having Vegapunk say, "For those of you who bear the name D," and then the message cuts out? What even is it? You're just blue balling us for fun. If Vegapunk never said that, then nothing would change. Why would you even, like, what even is the point? You're just trolling the readers at that point. If Vegapunk's literally on the message like, "For those of you who bear the name D," cuts out. You're just blue balling us. Nothing changes. Why do we need to know that we were about it? I was so hyped. I was so ready to learn about the D. But then it just, the elder decided to hit the robot, and it just, for some reason, cut out the broadcast for 1 second, and then it went back on for like what? That's so, this guy's the smartest guy in the world, and he, like, if you didn't do the 10-minute timer, and if your speech was actually concise and like good, then everyone would know everything. But your dumbass decided to give the enemies 10 minutes to catch up. Why not 2 minutes? And why, like, you know that the news is gonna report on this. You know Big News Morgan isn't biased, so you know he's gonna report on what you said. So it's not like you need every single citizen, you know, like every single ear. You know it's gonna spread. You know it's gonna, like, your message is gonna spread and stuff. So why wouldn't you just do 2 minutes, and that we could have learned what the will of D was. We could have learned what all that was. But I know why. And it's because Oda is fucking addicted to time bombs. Oda loves having a time, and if you don't know what a time bomb is, it's where you have a thing that it has a timer to when something bad's gonna happen, and that's the cause of, like, tension in your story. So like Alabasta, it was the bomb. The bomb was about to go off. Like 3, 2, 1. Dressrosa, it was the birdcage slowly closing in. Trying to think. Fishman Island, it was the Noah falling on the fucking island. You know, there's in every single arc, there's always some sort of thing where they have to like they have to survive or do something in a span of time. Like there's never been an arc really where it's just kill the bad guy and then you win. It's always you have to kill the bad guy just in time, or you have to stop this thing just in time. You know what I'm saying? So that was Egghead didn't have one of that. Egghead didn't have that up until the 10-minute speech where it was like protect the robot for 10 minutes. They have to hold out for 10 minutes. And then I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my god, bro, another time bomb, really? Another time bomb. This arc couldn't be just the one arc without a time bomb. You had to add another one. Wano had shitty ass Oniganshima, right? That's what Oniganshima falling. And I hated that. I hate Wano in general. I'll make a video about Wano. Trust me. Now, to get to the things I liked. Obviously, everyone is gonna say this. Kuma. I love Kuma's backstory. I loved Bonnie, Ginny. We hardly saw Ginny, but you know, I just loved everything about the backstory. The anime episode got 9.9 stars out of 10. It was like one of the highest rated anime episodes of all time. So my opinion is definitely not controversial. I think everyone loves Kuma's backstory, but I did see a lot of people hating on it, saying that Oda is just addicted to making just sad backstories just for the sake of them being sad. And I was expecting Kuma's backstory to be like the worst thing ever, like some just horrible evil. It was still horrible and evil, but it wasn't like just bad for the sake of being bad. Like it actually had like a good through line, a good story, good messaging, and they didn't like harp on the bad things too much. You know, like Kuma was never really that sad. Like he was like persevered. So I don't understand why the people that were hating on it, just calling it, you know, Oda just loves creating just sad backstories just to have them. Like, no, this one was good. I do criticize Oda for a lot of things, but this one was a good backstory. It was valid, the most valid backstory probably in all of One Piece. So yeah, everything Kuma related. I did like the island itself. Egghead was like, only Oda can come up with like random shit like this. I know it sounds like I'm glazing Oda, but only like a egg split in half where like the top half is the stratosphere, whatever the fuck, bottom half is like the people. Like the only thing I wish is that we spent way more time on the island. Like I wish we spent like how Dressrosa was, where in the beginning a little bit they gotta explore the island, shit like that. Or that's more of a pre-time skip thing where they explore the islands. Post-time skip they don't really like bond like that anymore. But this island, I really wish that we were gonna have like Straw Hat bonding, you know, like the classic 2 or 3 episodes or 2 or 3 chapters of just the crew walking around and just like, oh cool, what the fuck is this? Oh, what's this? But it kind of just launches straight into conflict with Vegapunk immediately telling Luffy like, yeah, they're gonna kill me, I need you to help me, please. So yeah, the island was awesome, but sadly we hardly spent any time like focusing on the island, even though this is like probably one of my cooler islands, like definitely up there with Water 7, you know, fuck Wano sucks, but Water 7. Thriller Bark Island was cool, but that arc was just really boring for me. But yeah, so the island itself was also just dope as hell. And Vegapunk, I liked a lot of things about Vegapunk. There's a couple things I didn't, but Vegapunk I really did like. I liked his past with Dragon. I liked how he's like kind of morally gray, to where because there's not a lot of morally gray characters in One Piece. They're usually just super evil or super good. But I liked how he was like, he realized he could help more people by working for the government with their budget than working with Dragon, even though Dragon is the more less evil, not less evil, he's not evil organization at all. So I did like how he was contemplating, and Ohara, like even when he turned away Dr. Clover and stuff, I did really like just the, he wasn't too complex, but I just appreciate how he was a morally gray character that was Luffy's friend, because Luffy doesn't really have that much morally gray, you know, friends. Like Law, no, Law's not evil, Law's just pure good. Law's like a second main character. But yeah, overall, Egghead started off really strong. Kuma's backstory, fucking amazing. Couldn't wait to see Saint J. Garcia, Saturn, right? His name, Saint J. Garcia. I couldn't wait to see him get the shit beat out of him. Turns out that never happens. They just run away. Kuma does get to punch him in the face. That was awesome. That was sick. I just watched the anime episode for that. That was a cool moment. And then yeah, but kind of just the ending sucked. Not sucked. The fight, the ending. the ending conflict kind of sucked. The 5 elders just running around, and Joy Boys Hockey was cool though. I will give them that. Joy Boys Hockey was fucking sick. Everything before Joy Boys Hockey was ass. Straight, like, the ending was just, like, them just running around, and the 5 elders somehow just, this 5 elders not being able to at least take down, like, Chopper or Robin or Usopp. Like, really, bro? You guys are the second in command. Usopp and Nami couldn't even fight against, like, the 10th in command for Kaido, and Kaido's the emperor. So if Usopp and Nami can't even fight with the 10th and 11th in command, they're getting their ass whipped by, like, Ulta or whatever, Ulti or whatever the fuck her name was. How are they escaping a elder, one of the 5 most, like, prominent people in the world? How are they just escaping them without any injuries, anything? Like, you're expecting me to believe they can't handle whatever this dumb bitch's name was, but they could, like, dodge and weave the fucking 5 elders? Like, and Kizaru, okay, Sanji does deserve to clash with Kizaru, but I'm saying the rest of the crew, like, they just ruined the 5 elders. So hopefully Imu is a better villain or Blackbeard is the final villain, because the 5 elders I do not give a fuck about anymore. Straight ass, straight, like, yeah, I could care less about them. But yeah, overall the arc was really good, much better. It reminded me of a pre-time skip arc with the emotion and stuff, because Wano was just hot doggy doo-doo. Wano was so bad. I could list 100 reasons why Wano was bad, but that'll be the next video probably. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Egghead, I give it about, I say 7.5, 8 out of 10. And Elbaf, currently reading it. There will be, since I just caught up, there's going to be weekly chapter reviews and stuff, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But other than that, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.